Good morning, all of our friends on YouTube. We hope that you are having a fantastic week. It's Easter week here while we're recording this, so we've got a lot of different things going on. Getting ready for Easter at the beach.
Can't wait.
Like 700 plus, hopefully, showing up on the beach for sunrise.
Yep. Getting to hear the gospel. It'll be great.
So we know you've got Easter traditions and everything else going on. And we'd love to hear about it. So put it in the comments there. What's your favorite thing about Easter and the traditions that you have with your family?
Yes. I suggested to Thomas that I make an Easter ham for lunch, and he said, no. Why would I want you to make an Easter ham?
Ham's not really my thing.
Ham's not his thing. He's not into
I'll
it.
eat it, but it's never like, ooh, you know what I really want right now is this giant ham. Some people love it.
Yes. My dad loves it.
Yeah.
My sister loves it.
How do you feel about it?
I'm like, whatever. I could eat whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it's just not one of those things where I'm like excited about.
We're doing an Easter pork loin.
Yeah.
Cut up with mashed potatoes and gravy and all the good stuff.
Yep.
All the trimmings. So that's going to be our Easter meal.
So we're having pig, but just in a different form.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah. It's related at least.
But yeah, tell us what's your Easter meal going to be? Like, do you guys do a big thing, or is it like whatever? Do some people go out on Easter?
Oh,
They
yeah.
probably do. It's probably a thing.
That's a big thing.
Okay, so maybe you're going out.
Well, and we're talking about food and Easter, so think of all the candy and all the other stuff. So I thought it'd be appropriate for today's episode to be about connecting with your kids through exercise. Those are related somehow, aren't they?
Right, because this is going to be going out right after Easter.
Yeah.
And so everyone who's watching this is going to be like, oh.
And you'll be ready to exercise, ready to connect.
You'll be full and ready to make some changes.
So let me ask you this, Lysandra. What is your favorite exercise to do? Like, as far as getting exercise, what's your favorite thing you like to do?
Body pump.
What's that?
Body pump is a class where you have free weights in like a bar and everything. And then there's an instructor who tells you what to do to music, and you do it in a class with other people. Okay. And it's my favorite thing. But I'm too cheap to actually do it.
Go and do it?
I've done it several times when I could get like a free week at the gym.
Yeah.
And then I would spend that free week doing free body pump.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's your favorite exercise?
Going and lifting weights. That's it.
Yeah.
I just love to hit the gym and lift weights.
Did you know that I was going to say body pump? I knew what you were going to say.
No idea.
Okay.
I really didn't know. I was curious.
I know him better than he knows me.
Yeah. Well, I've just been doing the same thing for how many years? So.
Yes, exactly.
You have not been doing body pump for that many years.
No, I have not. What are you trying to say? You jerk.
No, I'm just saying.
Like,
it's
totally.
It's not. You acted like I should know, and then it's so obvious. When literally, when's the last time you did body pump?
Like 2015.
Yeah. So it's like,
but look,
you're
the results have lingered.
You're like condemning me for not knowing it was body pump when literally I've not seen you do that.
All you have to do
years.
is look at my biceps to know that I did body pump in 2015.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's obvious.
Very obvious.
It might be like 2018. I don't know. Okay. We need to move on. We need to get this episode going. We could argue about this forever.
Yeah, we could. That'd be fun.
Right.
But I think we should get on with it. So let's gather around, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships. We're the Ostracamps. I'm Thomas. This is my wife, Buffy.
Hello, and welcome to our family. Welcome to episode 133 of the Family Meeting podcast. On today's episode, we're talking about connecting with your children through exercise.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think this will be a helpful conversation today because connecting with our children is so important, and this is one great way to do it. So one thing to think about is the fact that everyone changes. This has been on my mind a lot lately, just when thinking about our marriage and thinking about you and me, because we've changed a lot over the years. We are not at all who we were when we got married.
Well, and I've been thinking about it just because we just finished the rough draft of our marriage book and sent that off to the content editor. So going back and thinking about the earlier years, the way that you and I both used to be, and how we've changed since then.
And how we used to interact.
We've changed a lot.
We've both changed
People
so
change
much.
a lot over time.
Yeah, so everyone changes, right? None of us stay the same over the years, and our children change too. And as parents, it's important that we constantly be paying attention to our kids and how they're changing as they grow. And then we, yes, change our parenting style, and that's part of it. And we've already talked about parenting at different ages and different stages in life in previous episodes. But today we don't want to just talk about the parenting side of things as much as the connecting side of things. So how do you connect with your children as they change and as they grow? Exercise is one way to do that.
Well, and we're to constantly be investing and teaching and training our kids in all the different areas and facets of life. You know, I think about specifically speaking to fathers in Ephesians 6, verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. And so often when we think of that word discipline, we just automatically go to punishment. But it's talking about just having discipline in your everyday life. It's the general training of all parts of the child, instructing his mind, shaping his character, bending his will, awakening his conscience, enriching his soul, and building his body. And discipline is important for all the different areas of our life. We have to have discipline if we're going to get things done, if we're going to be successful in life and make an impact. And we need to teach that to our kids. And then there's the other side of it about the instruction of the Lord, that we're to bring them up in that. And it's just the idea of encouraging children to do what is right, rewarding that good conduct, that good behavior, confronting them when they do what is wrong, and then obviously punishing their misconduct in an appropriate way.
So in order to do all of that, we have to be able to connect with our kids. We have to be more than two, separate entities, like where I don't know my child. I don't have any connection with them. And then here I want to bring in and instruct them. Or all of a sudden here I want to discipline them.
Well, without that connection, right, that just breeds resentment. It brings rebellion. It's the connection that we make with our children that opens up their hearts and minds for them to receive what it is we're trying to teach them and tell them.
That's right. So connecting with our children is a vital part of continuing to have impact in their lives. We want to be more than just feeding them and clothing them. We want to be impacting them. We want to be raising them to be followers of Jesus, good citizens, and active community members. And in order to do that, we have to do more than just feeding and clothing them, right? We have to connect with them. We have to make a difference in their soul, in their spirit, in their conduct, in their character.
And there's a lot of different ways to connect with your kids. Entertainment is a great way to connect with kids of all ages. I mean, one of the quickest ways to connect with kids is just through fun.
Yeah.
Fun speaks volumes to children. I mean, fun speaks volumes to a lot of people. It's a great way to connect as a married couple. If you lose that sense of fun, you start to grow a little bit stale, grow a little bit cold. But with kids, it seems like it's magnified that much more. And we were reminiscing with some friends the other day about how when your kids are into Toy Story, you watch Toy Story 1 million times. When your kids are into Curious George, and I remember that stage for our kids, they just loved Curious George, and we watched that one Curious George movie 1 million times.
It had to be 1 million times. It was on repeat in the mornings. What was the song?
Upside Down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
When your kids are into anime, you watch anime. But not 1 million times. I'm sorry.
We just can't.
That's where I draw the line.
But we do watch it with them, but here and there.
So we'll watch the shows, the movies. I don't watch it enough to actually know the characters. I say character names, just make them up, and the kids think that's hilarious. And that's a way that I can connect with them through it. But if you watch it, you can talk with them and connect over the characters. You can talk about the plots, about the movies, or whatever else. And that's just connecting over entertainment. Other areas of connecting would be hobbies, cooking, household chores, repairs, projects, many other things. Today we want to talk about connecting through exercise. And this is one way that I connect rather easily with my children. Some of these other things, like I just don't connect with them as well, you know.
Yeah.
And being a male in a all-female household,
Yeah, things are a little different.
it's not as easy to connect in some ways.
So this is really funny when Thomas cooks, because Thomas is a very good cook. He cooks very infrequently and only certain things. But when he cooks, he gets this intensity, like things are very serious and like you don't want to go around him unless you're bringing him something to help him. Because like he's in the middle of cooking and he's also very helpless in the kitchen. So he's in the middle of cooking and he's like, spatula, I need a spatula.
Helpless
and
in
you're
a
like,
lot of ways.
Dude, okay, here's a spatula. And then you like drop it and run because you're afraid that you're going to get yelled at or something. And it's like, you're just making eggs. Like,
But it's not just making eggs.
okay,
I'm passionate
explain it.
about it.
You're
because
so passionate and intense.
I want the final product to turn out perfectly.
Yes.
So whether it's I'm cooking for myself or I'm cooking for my family, when I'm done cooking, I want it to be a perfect thing that they can absolutely enjoy. And so
Yes.
I'm very intensely focused on that cooking in that moment.
Yes. It's comical.
That's kind of the way that I attack everything, though. I'm very focused in on what I'm doing
Yeah.
to try to do it to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm. You are intense. Okay.
But some
So-
some things I can't connect. But
Yeah,
with
but-
exercise, I can connect easily because I love exercise.
Right. So that works for you. Now, Thomas has always loved exercise. I remember when we were teenagers and he would weightlift for fun. He was like super into weightlifting and wore a wife beater all the time. Is wife beater okay to say nowadays? Like,
I'm not sure.
I don't know. 25 years ago, we called them wife beaters. I assume now they're white tank tops.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they call them, but it was funny because my brother, I think it was my brother, shared a Facebook memory or something just the other day. Maybe it was my sister. One of them shared an old photo of a couple of old photos from me. It was my 17th birthday, and I was holding my cake, which was my mom made the cake, and it was frosted with pink frosting, which is hilarious. So it was probably strawberry because I like strawberry cake. But I'm not wearing a shirt. Like, this is my birthday celebration.
The big birthday photo.
I'm
No
wearing
shirt.
basketball shorts, no shirt, like skinny as a rail, 6-pack.
Uh-huh.
Like I remember that.
Yeah. You had a 6-pack and you had
I don't think I've
biceps.
had one since then. Well, at least since I got married.
You totally have a 6-pack.
Yeah, it's just in the fridge.
It's yes.
Keep that baby on ice.
Yeah, so this dude has always loved to exercise, and that didn't make sense to me then, and it still doesn't make sense to me now. Now, I do exercise, but it wasn't for fun. It was because I thought I was fat, and that was from when I was a teenager, including now.
Well, you think it's weird that I like to exercise. I think it's weird that people don't just get up and go to the gym at 4:30
Yeah,
to start their day.
yeah, that's so weird. But I remember so my exercise as a teenager was Tae-Bo videos, which
Okay, that's aging you a little.
I loved Tae-Bo, Billy Blanks, I think.
Billy Blancs. Yeah.
Blancs, okay. And then I did run in my neighborhood when I was a teenager, but I even did a Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies video. Yes, my mom had a VHS.
I was going to say that had to be a VHS.
It was a VHS. And
'Cause
so was
that's old.
Tae-Bo. Tae-Bo was VHS. But the truth is, we both exercise a lot because, you know, even naturally, you and I will exercise together just by going on long walks together. And when I was a kid, I used to go on long walks with my parents or hiking and whatever. So both Thomas and I did grow up pretty active lives.
Yeah.
We both exercise a lot. I used to bike a lot as a kid, and so did you.
Biked all over town. That was
Yeah.
my mode of transportation. In fact, we would bike all over the place. My parents literally had no idea how far we were going, but we'd go everywhere.
Yeah, it was kind of dangerous. Now, did you ever connect with your parents through exercise?
Not too often.
Me neither. Mine was if we went on walks, or if
I'd walk with my mom
That's
some. Yeah,
Okay.
when she was healthy enough to walk, we would walk the neighborhood a little bit. We'd walk up towards, we were very close to a really nice area of town that had really big houses, and we like to walk past the big houses in those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then sometimes with Dad, we'd do like going mushroom hunting and stuff. It was a lot of hiking. And I remember one time my dad took me on what we called the journey. And we walked from our house miles and miles and miles. And it was just, I remember it being a lot of fun. And while we were out there, it started pouring down rain. We got soaked on it. So there are a few times where we did connect.
My parents and I had deep conversations while we walked. That was really a time of connecting through walking, but we never connected through like major exercise, just walking.
Like regular routine or whatever.
Right.
Now, as your children age and grow, they're going to be into different things. But exercise should always be a part of our lives. Okay, did you catch that? Some of you don't like what I just said. She likes it.
Excuse me. I had to sneeze. I'm sorry.
She's allergic to exercise.
Yes,
so.
I am.
It should always be a part of our lives.
Agreed.
And when your kids are little, they need to be running around at the park with their friends. At this stage, you can connect with them by playing tag at the park. Think about how often we would play tag.
Our girls still talk about it today. They loved it.
And there's still times where we're on a family day or whatever that we'll do that, where we'll just play tag at the park. And we have our own little rules about where you can go and all that while we play tag at the park.
We played floor is lava at parks.
They absolutely loved when we go to Palisades. There was this big tree that had come down in a storm near the river. Like massive. Whoa.
Man, we're way too much alike.
And we would play tree tag. You couldn't touch the ground. You had to stay on this tree that had fallen over, and we'd crawl over the limbs and everything else.
It was fun.
And they loved that. And that's good exercise in a lot of ways. Chasing them around the yard. Essentially just actively playing with them. And as your children get a little bit older, they're going to possibly be interested in sports. And you can connect with your kids at this age by finding out the sport they enjoy. And even if you don't know anything about the sport, you say, my kid absolutely loves pickleball. And I don't know anything about pickleball. It's a great way to connect because you can ask them to teach you about it.
Yep.
And that's one way to show them respect. It's one way to show them value and to humble yourself and let your kid teach and show you something that's important to them. But you can help them practice. You can play with them, make the game fun, going to games, cheering, maybe even coaching. So through sports is a great way to be able to connect with them.
And when your kids get a little bit older into adolescence and everything, they're going to begin to find things that they really like to do and things they hate.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a daughter who hates running. She just hates it. And she figured that around adolescence age. So that's not really the best way to connect with her and exercise. And we'll talk in a little bit about the best way to connect with her. It's not through running. Now, we do have a daughter who absolutely loves bike riding. So going on a nice long bike ride is the best way to connect with our little Violet.
Yeah, she loves it.
Yep. And so that's usually something that I do to connect with her is bike riding. But during the stage of adolescence, your kids are going to begin to see what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy. So it's good to kind of pay attention to that. Identify those things that they enjoy and get involved with that. You've got to meet your kids where they're at. Get active with your kids in the things they like. We're not going to try to conform our kids to the things we like. We will make time to do the things we like. And then we'll take time to do the things they enjoy.
Well, and it's so great to teach them to explore different options, to test different things out, to find, especially in the area of exercise, what they really love to do. Because if it's something that you can find that they enjoy, that's active, that will help them for the rest of their life. I mean, we understand the studies and everything else about how important exercise is for our health. So teaching them early to explore and to find that thing goes a really long way.
Right. And remember, what they find when they're 6 is not what they find they like when they're 12, and it might not be what they like when they're 16, and it might change again when they're 22. It's okay for them to change and find new things, but you have to explore all the different options. You have to, try things out in order to find the thing that they enjoy at that particular age. So, don't keep them confined to the thing that they enjoyed when they were little. That might change. So it's all about paying attention to the changes that they make, because like we said, we have changed a lot over the years. Even though weightlifting was your thing when you were 16 and it's still your thing now at 42, that might not be the case for everyone else.
And it's always interesting when one of these new discoveries comes along from your kids. So our 16-year-old Isabella, one day just said, "Hey, what time do you go to the gym in the morning?" So I was explaining to her what time, and how early it was. She's not an early riser. She would a lot like me. She would much rather stay up late and do things and then get up early.
Yeah, she's the one who we buy the coffee mugs that say like not early in the morning or whatever, like cranky morning cups. That's what she gets.
So out of the blue, and I need to have this conversation with her yet, but I'm still setting the pattern of exercise with her in what we're doing. So that conversation will come. But out of the blue, she's just talking to me about this and then said, "Can I go with you?" And I'm like, "Sure." I'm at Planet Fitness. I've got the black card that lets me bring one guest every time. So it doesn't cost me anything extra to have her come along. And it's just a great way I can connect with her. And so she'd never done this before, had never shown interest before. But now it's something that she's very passionate about, and she's been very dedicated. I don't set an alarm for her. She's not missed yet. So every time we go, she's up on her own, sets her own alarm, gets ready, and we go, and she doesn't know anything about it. Like, she doesn't know anything about lifting weights and stuff, has never done it before. So I'm teaching her about the machines. I'm teaching her how to go to a machine, even if she never used it before, and be confident enough to look the machine over, look at the instructions that are on it, and play around and figure out how the machine operates. And then getting her set up with a routine. So one of the things that I started her off, for those of you that aren't familiar with lifting weights, when you first start lifting weights, your muscles will be so sore over the next few days, extremely sore. But if you can push through that, and just keep on going, you'll get to the point where you can work out as hard as you want to, and you'll never get that sore again. So I decided we're just going to throw her in the deep end and literally put her on her full body, just go through all the machines and just work as hard as you can on all the machines, working every body part, every muscle group. Let's get them all through the pain as quickly as possible for the next few days. Got her through that. She continued on. She lifts weights, and then she goes and she runs a mile on the treadmill and then walks until I'm ready to go. So she's working hard. We're there for a few hours every morning. And now I've got her set up on a routine where you work one muscle group every single day so you can work out as hard as you want to. But this was like a new thing for her. And she's loving it, and she's becoming more self-confident, stronger, her appearance and everything else. She's really enjoying the results of it. But it's one of those things where she had never shown even the slightest interest in it. And one day out of the blue, "Hey, Dad, what time do you go to the gym in the morning?" So it's always interesting when those discoveries come along, and sometimes it literally is out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And it's so cool to see Thomas and Isabella connecting through weightlifting. I'm so happy for them. It's never something I would have thought of or that I would have even suggested to her. We didn't know when she was little that she was going to be wanting to weightlift when she was 16. We didn't think it was something she'd like. We had to let her try things and try things with her. And then when she found her thing, we had to pursue it with her. And it's funny because we were just talking with a good friend about, she's a boy mom.
Yeah.
So it's something I don't know anything about, unfortunately. But she's got a son, and this son is now coming into adolescence and growing up, and he wants to start weightlifting. And so his dad and he go weightlifting together. But when his dad's out of town, his mom goes. And she said that she goes and she is now all of a sudden this weightlifting mom who is not into weightlifting at all.
That's so funny.
It's not something she enjoys. It's not something she likes. But you know what? She enjoys spending time with her son. She enjoys and likes her son. So she's going to become a weightlifting mom. And she, of course, is there cracking jokes and everything about how probably everybody's going to want her to train them and stuff. And she's very cute. She's hilarious. But her son loves that. Like, that's their special time together, because she's willing to meet her son where he's at, even though it's not her thing.
I think it would be hilarious to see you like trying to weight lift with our son if we had one.
It would be hilarious. So I actually really do like free weights. I hate the bar thing. What is it called again? The bar that holds the weights. Is it just called a bar?
Barbell.
Barbell.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hate that thing because when you were training me, remember a couple years ago at the Y, he was training me and he started me with just the bar, which is 40 pounds, right?
45, yeah.
45 pounds, just the bar. No weights are on it. And I'm laying down on a bench and I'm trying to lift this bar. And it was hard. And I was so ashamed and so embarrassed that I'm like lifting this bar with no weights on it. And my muscles were shaking. It was a bad day for me. It was very humiliating.
Well, and what's funny is you do one set of any exercise and you're like, I'm done. Time to move on.
Yeah, because it's boring. I get bored so fast. So what can I say?
But maybe for your child, it's not weightlifting. There are so many ways to get active with your kids and connect through activity. But until you try different activities, you won't know which one your children really enjoy and which one you can connect with them on. So here are some ideas you can try with your child depending on their age and ability. Maybe it's running. And I used to love running.
Mm-hmm.
My knees don't like it as much anymore. So I don't run as often as I like to. Could be swimming. And swimming can be a lot of fun. It's one of the best exercises you can do to work out your entire body, and it's low impact on your joints and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Golf. One of my nieces just started golfing.
Mm-hmm. And her dad connect on golfing because he loves golfing.
Yeah, so it's a nice way they can connect. Basketball, volleyball, maybe it's exercise videos, body pump, or some other thing. Taibo. You could do the sweating to the oldies.
You totally could. I mean, it's got to be out there somewhere.
A lot of our listeners are younger. They may not even, you said sweating to the oldies earlier. They might not even know what you're talking about. You want to kind of fill them in? What's sweating to the oldies for those that don't know what you're talking about?
I feel so old right now. Sweating to the oldies was old when I was a teenager. Just want to clarify that.
What's the name of the dude?
Richard Simmons.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Richard Simmons. He had a huge afro and
not to be confused with Gene Simmons. He's the guy with the tongue.
Yeah.
The long tongue.
Richard Simmons is not at all like
they're
that.
not related either as far as I know.
They don't look at all the same. Richard Simmons is so peppy and cheerful, and he's so sweet. So you like want to work out with him. And he would play oldies music, and you would like do these little dance thingies, and it was very low impact. Like, I mean, you'd get your heart rate up. And I remember I would do like what he's telling you to do, but like add something in, like a jump or a jumping jack or something to whatever he was telling them to do. But yeah, that's sweating to the oldies.
Yeah.
Does that help?
He's got the shortest little shorts you've ever seen in your
teeny,
entire
tiny
life,
little
because it
shorty
was like what,
shorts.
70s and 80s.
Yeah, I think it was early 80s, but yeah.
So the tiny little shorts. So you may enjoy that, you might not, but just warning you. Maybe it's hiking, maybe it's biking. I think about one of our friends. She connects with her kids through jujitsu.
Mm-hmm. And kickboxing.
They really love jujitsu and kickboxing and all those sorts of things. So it may be a martial art. There's so many things to do to get out there and get exercise. And here's what we encourage you to do is try different things with your kids to see what they would enjoy. They might enjoy what you enjoy and get into that.
That's nice when that works out.
So maybe you are into golf, like my brother-in-law, and your daughter wants to try it and she loves it. But that may not be the case. So once again, you need to come and the important part is connecting with them and then teaching them to find what they enjoy that will help benefit them for their life. So you might have to come into their world. Jiu-jitsu might not be your thing, but your kid really wants to try it and they love it. And it can be a great way for you to connect. So while you're out there trying these different exercise avenues, you know what you're doing is you're connecting with them.
That's right.
It.
Even if you find one that they don't like, because it's so funny. Like when you try an exercise or an activity or a sport together, you're trying it for the first time and you hate it, you're going to laugh about that. You're going to talk about how horrible it was. You're going to talk about how crazy people are who like it. And you're going to have this little bond happening. You can connect even if it's a swing and a miss. But after trying each new activity, communicate about it, okay? So communication is really important. What did you like about it?
Mm-hmm.
What did you not like about it? What was terrible? Do you want to do this again? Why do you want to do this again? Why do you not want to do this again? What could make this activity more fun? How could we tweak this or change it to be enjoyable for both of us?
Well, and in that last question about how can we make it more fun, you know, I think of like yoga, right? And somebody literally was like, how can we make this more fun? And they're like, what if we added goats?
Oh my goodness. Who was that person?
What if we injected goats into this scenario? How much more fun would it be? And man, what a goldmine that is.
It's
so
weird.
Ask the question, what could make it more fun?
But kudos to all you goat yoga folks. Enjoy that.
Do any of you out there actually do goat yoga? I would love to hear from somebody.
So here's the problem that I have with goat yoga. And
Besides the yoga or
Yeah, I'm not really a yoga fan because it's too slow and boring and I actually fell asleep in a yoga class. It was relaxation yoga.
I don't think you were doing
mistake.
it right.
I was not doing it right. Okay, so goat yoga and let's say any animal yoga. Most animals do not control their bladder and other bodily functions based on like timing and where they are. They let it go whenever.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, this is class period. I can't take
okay.
a poop right now.
I'm like, stop talking. So when I'm in downward dog with a goat on my back and I feel a shower, I will absolutely lose it.
Hot sensation, like fling the goat across the room.
Seriously, that goat is going to be gone. And so I just can't imagine working out where that is part of the like danger and the risk of it all.
I really want to talk to some of our listeners who have done goat yoga. I'm really interested in this right now.
I feel like I would do it just because it seems really weird and I would want to try something weird. But that's the thing that really bothers me about goat yoga.
Yeah.
But these are the kinds of questions that you want to ask your child. After you try goat yoga, you want to say, what did you like about it? Did you like it when the goat pooped on you? You know, these are the kinds of questions. Any questions you can ask.
Hopefully the answer to that question is no.
Any questions you can ask, though, help you to connect with your kids. Communication is really important in these connections, okay? And these are great questions to ask as you try the new avenues of exercise. Anytime you're communicating with your children, you are connecting with them.
And we always say communication is king. And this includes connecting through exercise. Once you find the activity and exercise your child enjoys, go all in. Exercise together. Plan for the exercise. Talk about it afterwards. Depending upon the activity, you might have to go out shopping for the clothes and the stuff and
Supplies.
the equipment to be able to do it. And there's that whole part of it that adds to the connecting experience.
When the girls were little, I did workout videos every morning, never failed, never missed. Every morning I did a workout video. And when the girls were little, they thought that was cool. They don't anymore. But when they were little, like 7, 8, 9, 10, they wanted to work out with me.
Yeah.
And so I had yoga mats for all of us. We'd line up in the living room and we'd all do exercise videos together. And they thought it was so fabulous. And they wore their little racer backs and it was like all this awesome time with mom. They're not into that anymore. But while they were, I connected with them in that way. And we would make jokes about the instructor and like how hard this particular exercise was, or when we would fall over, you know, whatever, like all the different things. So just connect with them where they're at.
I still sometimes will walk through our upstairs living room and one or a couple of them will be doing an exercise video
Yeah.
from YouTube.
Yep.
So They still do it.
They still do it here and there.
Yeah. So here are some things Isabella and I talk about during and after our workout. We're talking about communication, right? So as we get up in the morning, neither of us are like really awake and alive and energetic. So the communication early on is very simple. Like, good morning, how'd you sleep last night? And maybe just a little bit about the day before while we're driving to the gym. I'll let Isabella know what muscle group we're working on that morning, and then we'll listen to the radio and get there. When we come home, there's a lot more conversation. We're obviously a lot more awake at that point. And we're talking about, okay, how was your workout today? How do you feel? What's your soreness level? What exercises did you like? What didn't you care for? What was a little harder? What was easier? And we spend time also on the way home talking about our meals the day before. What did you eat? And we've had conversations about, hey, we need to change the way we think about food if we're going to be working out and exercising hard all the time. You have to think about food being fuel for your body now, and so you want to put in the best fuel so you can get the best workout and recovery. And so we're holding each other accountable every day and talking about, okay, what did you have food-wise yesterday? And kind of going through that, and as well as talking about the different things that we have to do that day. So it's given us a lot more opportunities just to have some conversations. And the conversations about the exercise naturally bleed over into other areas of our life as well. It's just one of those avenues where we've got another way to connect. We've got something else to communicate about. And somebody said this recently, and I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was a Facebook post or something else on Instagram, but they said that your relationship is basically the sum total of all the conversations you've ever had with that person.
I wrote that down. Where did we hear that?
I don't know.
Or read it. I wrote it down, but I can't remember who said it or where we read it.
And so it's just,
yeah.
But it's exercise and activity is just another way, another avenue to foster communication, which develops that relationship, which then, as I said, those conversations don't just stay there. They start to jump over into other areas of our life as well.
Mm-hmm. And I love to watch Isabella and Thomas's relationship getting deeper. And I love to watch them bond over this. It's fantastic. And I'm so happy for them. Now, Violet and we bike ride together. Thomas doesn't bike ride with Violet. That's not his thing.
Well, I don't really have a bike since we moved to Florida.
Well, I have a bike you can ride.
Yeah, no thanks.
Some people are so snooty with bicycles.
Yeah, my bicycle did not make the cut on the way down here.
Nope, it didn't make it on the truck. But
our your chairs did. Your patio chairs.
I knew you were going to bring up the Adirondacks chairs. I
made it.
I was waiting.
Those things made it.
They are. I'm looking at them right now out the window.
I wish you'd sit in them sometimes just to make it worth the while effort.
Why
is your voice so high? Why are you trying to pretend like you sit in them?
I do sometimes. I thought we'd use them a lot more than we did in Florida, but okay. So bike riding. Now Violet and I, when we bike ride together, some of the things that we talk a lot when we bike ride. Like, we bike ride next to each other and we're talking the entire time. We're talking about the scenery we're seeing. We're talking about where we're going, the route, random anything. We'll talk on the way to the trail. So sometimes we'll load up our bikes and go to an interesting trail, and we talk about it the entire way there. We might bike ride to the beach, sit on the beach for a little while, talk about different things, hop back on the bike and ride back. We have great conversations on these bike rides and on the way to and from the bike rides. So it's really great. So make sure that you're adding in communication in your exercise, because that's how you really connect with your child.
And the communication is important on so many levels. But one of them is knowing when your child wants to stop something. Mm-hmm. They want to stop an activity. So remember how we started this episode by talking about how people change? Just because your kid loves baseball right now and always wants to throw the baseball around doesn't mean they want to for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So just because Isabella is in a phase right now where she wants to go to the gym with me in the morning and she wants to lift weights doesn't mean that's always going to be her thing. Her interests and everything else will change just like yours do and mine do. So communication keeps you updated on changes. And if you see your child losing interest in something, don't keep forcing them to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't want them to just quit everything else. There's been times where our kids wanted to quit something, and it depends on the scenario.
Mm-hmm. True.
So if they've committed to being on a team for a season, we're not quitting the team halfway through. You're going to finish the season.
Yeah.
Now, we may not do it again next season. So having those conversations, don't just force them to keep on doing this for the rest of their life. That's not going to breed connection. That'll breed resentment. So maybe it's time to try something new and begin new activities together all over again. And one of the things we talked about is teaching and training them, right? And we want to teach them to constantly be trying new things, having new experiences, opening up their worlds and opening up their minds. Now, every time we try something new, it does so much good for us on a variety of levels, as far as our mind, our emotions, giving us boldness to try new things, overcoming fear, so many things. And we want to teach that to our kids. And even when it has to do with exercise, we want to teach them that it's okay to try new things. It's okay to figure out what you like. I mean, I'm guessing that you don't exercise the same way you did when you were 17, like I did. I don't do everything exactly the same. First of all, I don't have that much energy.
Right.
I literally used to get up and lift weights in the morning. I would go to work. I worked at Walmart, and I was a cart pusher. So I literally was out walking and pushing stuff all day long. Then I would leave from there, and I would go play basketball for 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
Until it was time for bed. I do it all over again.
That sounds so boring.
I can't do that now.
I'm glad you don't do that
not 17 anymore. I am 42 years old. Last night, Lysandra and I dropped the kids off at youth group. We came home, had something to eat. I put on a movie for us to watch, and 25 minutes in, I'm dead asleep.
Yep.
Every once in a while, I'm waking up because she's laughing hard at something that happened in the movie. But bottom line is, I'm not 17 anymore.
We know.
I'm 42. So I've changed, right?
Yeah.
Your kids are going to change. And once you want to teach them that it's okay to change. It's okay to like different things. It's okay to try new things. So we need to allow our children to change their interests as well.
Mm-hmm. And as your child change, allow them to pursue new interests while pursuing those interests with them. And it will mean the world to your child to do that with them. Yeah. Hey, I was never into volleyball. I played one season of volleyball with a neighboring church in town who was getting ready for some tournament. And I was like on the B team bench. Okay? I was on the B team bench.
I'm surprised you made B team.
Anybody could be on that team. I was there with a lot of weirdos.
No cuts.
No cuts, and it was obvious. Okay, so that's my history with volleyball. But you know what? The girls got into volleyball, and bam, I'm into volleyball.
All of them. They all love volleyball.
All of them. So I allowed them to teach me and train me how to get better, and I actually have gotten way, way better because they taught me how to serve. They taught me how to bump. They taught me how to set.
Yeah.
Now I still am like, Mama, don't chase balls. So they got to go and get all the
balls.
balls.
Yeah, they know you're not moving.
Nope, I'm not moving. Like, this is my spot. You guys got to go get the ball.
We have a tree in the backyard that we joke moves around more on the volleyball court than Mom does.
Yes. Well, it's windy, so. But you know what? I'm totally into volleyball with my kids. I'm helping them in volleyball class at co-op. We have a volleyball net in our backyard, and I play with the girls on a regular basis. I take them to other nets, to sand courts. I bring their friends over to play volleyball. Whatever I can do to keep them active and connect with them over this activity, I'm going to do it. Even though this might not be their thing for the rest of their lives, it is right now. And so it's my thing right now too.
And so with the family meeting tonight, we want to encourage you just to sit down with everybody and ask them. Let's go around the family and have every person talk about what is your favorite form of exercise and why do you like it? Why is that so meaningful to you? What do you find fun about it and exciting and challenging? And then maybe talk about some new exercise or activity that you want to try. What's something you've always thought about trying but maybe haven't had the chance to yet, or maybe you haven't had the courage yet? And then schedule some time to go do that. Maybe you want to sign up and, hey, let's go check out this Taekwondo gym, and we could sign up for a free week and just check it out and see if that's something that you're into. Maybe you want to go hiking and exploring, but figure out what that new thing might be and then try it as a family. Or maybe you take each child with just mom or dad and explore that together and just talk about ways you'll make your exercise fun together. Don't underestimate the ability to be able to connect with your kid through exercise, because that will have a domino effect into other areas of their lives as well. So take advantage of that connection.
Thanks for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you found this information to be helpful, please share this episode on social media and invite your friends and family to listen in with you.
To find more content and information Lysandra and I provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or email us at info@familymeeting.org. If you'd like to shoot us a text or call us, you can send us a voice message and tell us all about your goat yoga experience.
I cannot wait to hear about it.
You can do that at 904-257-3062. No, seriously. Call and leave me a message about goat yoga. I want to hear it.
All right. And I want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we talk about your spouse's parents.
Oh.
Yes, the dreaded in-laws.
Well, or as I call them, the outlaws.
Yes, they are in your phone as outlaw mom and outlaw dad. But we're going to talk about how the way you treat your spouse's parents can show the love or disrespect you have for your spouse.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that next week.
Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned. Another one down.
I'm cold.
So, goat yoga. If you've done goat yoga, hit me up in the comments. I want to know.
Throw some pictures on there. You got to have, I mean, like, if you do goat yoga, there's no chance that you didn't take a picture of it.
Or a video.
Yeah. So we want to see the
I
pictures
really
and
want.
videos,
I need to explore whether we have goat yoga in our area. I think we should.
I'm gonna guess that's more Central Florida.
Yeah, probably. We could try that as a family. Explore that option as a family. That would be
hilarious. But I bet it's really expensive.
Family goat yoga.
I'm gonna guess that's an expensive activity.
I don't know. If you know about it, tell us. I need some help.
We need to know. We're like now stuck apparently on goat yoga.
And I guess I need to go figure this out right now. So we'll catch you later.
Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.